let's talk about SmackDown.
The echo is back. Yes, let's talk about SmackDown.
SmackDown, we're smacking down. They were in Tulsa, Oklahoma for SmackDown on August the 9th at the BOK Center. Is this a new building out there, Brian? When's the last time you were in Tulsa?
I've flown over Tulsa. I've never stopped in the wonderful town of Tulsa.
You didn't even get the urge to fucking get a rope and just hang down and get a better view of it on your way across?
No, not really.
Well,
every time I pass over Oklahoma, I always think, where was Bill Watts hanging out? That's what I always think.
Well, out by his swimming pool where he had a big tall fence so you couldn't see him. That's how he was able to hang out without being arrested. But apparently it's a new building. They had 11,098 fans in this building. The Assembly Center and the Fairgrounds Coliseum back in the Mid-South days maxed out at about 7,500, 8,000-ish. So they couldn't have got this many people in the building back then. And you don't usually see that in Oklahoma anymore. These giant wrestling crowds. Apparently they can draw money anywhere. Just give them paper and a green crayon. So Cody made his entrance, and there was the hugs and the autographs and the whoa, and the Cody chants and the cheers. It's got to the point now, it was like these people had just been paroled from fucking Sing Sing, and they hadn't seen the outdoors when he just started. He said, Tulsa, ah! They wouldn't let him speak. They were cheering so loud. And then all he has to do is say, well, what's next? Who will I defend against at Bash in Berlin? And boom, here comes Solo's music. So it's to the point now where the babyface doesn't even really need to come out and cut a promo to get himself over. They're already goddamn creaming themselves that he's there to begin with, so he can just... He can set the premise up with one sentence, and here comes the heel. And off we go on our dramatic monologue for the evening. And Solo came out with the Tongas. Okay, now, Brian, are they fucking with us? What is it now? Do you think, is Fatu injured, not injured? They're taking advantage of this. It's really a shoot. Which of these answers are we going with this week?
I don't know. I mean, I thought he was hurt. I saw him in the walking boot. You thought, and you're right, it made sense for the match for him to get hurt when he did. So that makes you think that's a sell.
And it also made sense for him to wear some type of support afterward instead of just walking around 7-Eleven in front of the fans like a goddamn Olympic sprinter.
It also made sense in that it makes it so that he's not there when Roman returns and gets his hands on the people who were there. So he doesn't get his hands on Jacob Fatu.
But we've also heard reports that much of the WWE locker room is now convinced that he's hurt. So even the boys don't know for sure. But it's going to suck if he is, but it was too convenient. And here's another thing that made me think he's not, because he sold it too overtly. And if you go back and look, when most of the time, unless something breaks instantly and you drop like a fucking stone in a pond, when people do hurt something, they do everything they can not to show it if it's not supposed to be sold. And he was selling instantly to the point where that guy, if he was hurt and sold that big, that instantly, then he wouldn't have been in a walking boot. He'd have been in a goddamn wheelchair later on. So we'll see what happens. But it also worked here for this night that Jacob Fatu was not in the building. Because
That's right.
What would have happened if he had been? How could what happened have happened if it had happened that Jacob Fatu would have happened by?
And the other thing is, when he's not there and Solo comes out with the two Tongas, you're looking for Jacob Fatu. Because he's established, he comes out of the crowd, he comes out of a corner, wherever he may be. So you don't know where he's coming from.
Well, we know where Solo's coming from. He's coming from a position that he wants a rematch. He is pissed about SummerSlam. If it hadn't been for Roman Reigns, he would have been the champion. And he wants another chance. And Cody fired up on him and said, You lost the match. You caused Jacob Fatu to get hurt. And you're delusional if you think that you deserve a rematch. And at that point, of course, the bloodline then begins to step into the ring in a menacing fashion when here comes Kevin Owens from the back door, slides in with 2 chairs, and they hold the bloodline off at bay. And Solo's like, well, I'm going to deal with you later after I find Roman Reigns. And you think that the bloodline leaves, music starts playing, you think that's it, and then they bring the music down. Because then Cody says, and I'll tell you what I think in a second, but I'm liking this. Cody pitches to Kevin Owens, Kevin, I want to talk to you. And he pitches the idea that he wants to defend the title against Kevin Owens in Berlin. Because he's, been there, he's had his back, he's blah, 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 he deserves it. And Owens says, and boy, I bet they had to twist his arm to tell him the value in this storyline approach. But Owens says, I don't deserve a title match. I haven't earned it. Look at my win-loss record. And then the fans are like, you deserve it. And Cody wants to reward Owens for having his back, and he pumped him up and told him how great he was. And he said, I'm going back there now to tell Nick Aldis that I want this match, and I'm not going to let you say no. I will see you at the Bash in Berlin. And Owens was left looking fairly put off by the whole thing. What do you think, Brian?
What do I think about what?
Well, what do you think about this development where all of a sudden we've been talking about Cody can defend against this guy and that guy and the other guy? Kevin Owens, his name didn't come up. Kevin Owens and Cody for the title in Berlin, out of nowhere. What the fuck is going on?
I'm not crazy about it, and I'm going to guess that it's going to be part of a bigger thing. Because, again, the babyface world champion is saying that he wants to just give a world title shot. Usually it would be the babyface friend wants a world title shot, and it leads to something. This is going in the other direction. The babyface world champion wants to gift his friend, who hasn't won matches lately, a world title match, risking that he could lose the title to his friend.
Wild card, bitches.
I don't know. I mean, we'll see where they go. I didn't like the execution of it. Again, when Kevin Owens all of a sudden is the bashful, oh, I don't deserve it. Get out of here. I didn't like the setup for it very well. And, Cody was very much into his Shakespearean dusty persona here, in the cadence and the way he lays things. I couldn't deal with it.
Yes, and the pronunciation.
Yeah, I wasn't, again, we'll see where they go, but I didn't like the buildup of it. Just the idea that Owens doesn't even want the match. Cody's giving him the match because he thinks he deserves it, which means that Cody thinks he could risk losing the title to his friend. I mean, I don't like it.
Either that or maybe Cody says, fuck, he can't whip cream with an outboard motor. I gotta have a night off wrestling him.
You're what my brother wouldn't call a jobber.
But that wasn't quite it, because they go and have another one of those pesky matches with some people. And then they're in the back, and Cody is with Aldis, but Owens is there. I don't deserve a match. I haven't earned it. And Aldis said, well, it's a moot point because I'm going to go talk to Roman Reigns now about a title match. And then Owens said, what? Roman Reigns? Well, he did this and he did that. And sure, he had the title for all this time, but that was because he had everybody else helping him, blah, blah, blah. And Owens works himself up, talking about all these reasons why Roman Reigns shouldn't get a title match. And then Aldis says, well, fine, then it'll be you versus Cody. And they're right back where they were. And I'm wondering if this might... Here, the only thing is, Orton's going to turn on Cody eventually. for a big, that's either a Rumble, a Survivor Series, a
After
WrestleMania.
After Mania, maybe.
After Mania, but it's one of the big three, I would think.
I think it's
right.
It's a big Cody feud, yeah.
Yeah. So, is this an offbeat way to start Owens' heel turn? Because now we're looking at the number of baby faces they have that are fucking stars that are over. Should Owens?
What if Owens gets taken out? Cody's gifting his friend a title match, and then between now and then, the Bloodline take out Owens.
Okay, the only thing that makes me think that, I mean, that could still happen, but I wasn't leaning that way because of the fact that Owens was trying to talk him out of it and was reacting the way he was. Which was a little, that's why I said they may have to twist Owens' arm on the creative, because he could have said, oh, I appreciate it, Cody, but, I haven't been focusing on the world title, and I don't, soften himself somewhat. Like, I haven't been working wrestling singles matches, haven't got the one-loss record, whatever, but I don't deserve it. I haven't beat anybody. What that? I don't know, but something is up. And I don't know how Owens places in the top babyface hierarchy anymore when it's been, several years now that he's been featured, and they got a bunch more baby faces that are more over now than he is. But he can be an annoying fucking heel. We know that much is true.
But again, there's a weird way to start that off. This isn't him asking for a shot. This is him being given the gift of a shot. I guess we'll see where they go with it.
Well, speaking of gifts, I wish somebody would give me a gift and take the putrid dullards off television. It's AEW level phony. Nobody believes their fucking goofy outfits, their prissy way of talking, their stupid flyers for their musical. It's ridiculous. This is the kind of shit that Vince was shoving at us, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't like this at all. I don't watch it, so I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, and also, Jade Cargill beat Alba Fire, but then Blair Davenport, followed by Mrs. Garrett, I believe, hit the ring, and they got some sloppy heat, and Isla Dawn was involved, and Bianca was in there, and then Naomi hit the ring, and the baby faces beat the heels up. It was a stirring moment when they stood tall in the ring.
Yeah, I got part two. I got Granny wrestling right now with this is the main event for the.
Well, the finish is the big giant swing, right?
That's right. Well, I haven't gotten there yet, but I believe.
Yeah, the finish. He puts the big giant swing on Mike Mazurki and throws him all the way over the top rope. But back to SmackDown. Not anything as stirring in the wrestling space as the Clampets versus, oh God, what was the heel girl's name?
I don't know. I haven't.
The heel girl wrestler's name was, oh good Lord.
The Boston Strong Girl.
The Boston Strong Girl. There you have it, and her family. All right, at the 9 o'clock hour on SmackDown, now we're leaving the Beverly Hillbillies behind. Out comes the new U.S. champion, the new U.S. champion, L.A. Knight, after he beat Logan Paul at SummerSlam, to do an in-ring promo. He gets the big ovation. He gets the L.A. Knight chants. Lou Ferrigno was in the front row. Did you see that?
I did.
What the fuck was Lou Ferrigno doing in Tulsa, Oklahoma?
Showing everyone that you shouldn't be scared of steroids. Clearly, you can live. They said everyone was going to die at the age of 40 and they're going to get giant tumors. It was all a lie. Let's all get juiced up now.
You think that lump in between his shoulders on top of his neck there wasn't tumorous?
That was his head, Jim.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, anyway, Lou Ferrigno has been apparently sentenced to work release in Tulsa or something. And LA Knight does the promo about beating Logan Paul for the U.S. title, and the fans chant, "You deserve it." Bunch of deserving people on the wrestling program these days. And as soon as LA Knight starts bragging about the win, here comes the music of Pablo Escobar with the Lucha Heels and Carmen J-Lo, whatever her fucking name is. And oh, Christ on a cracker. Is this going to be a program, or was this just for him to come out and, well, yes, because he won the match for the U.S. So the point is, we're going to have to suffer through LA Knight and Escobar. Now that LA Knight's won the title, we thought, boy, he really needs to produce, and he did at SummerSlam. And Escobar? Eh?
Did he always speak perfect English?
Yeah, you're thinking of Andrade.
No, I know. No, Andrade's a complete mumble mouth in whatever language, but Escobar, he did a promo with perfect English. I didn't remember he spoke like that. I wasn't expecting it. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be exciting, but we'll see. Maybe it will be. Maybe LA Knight will turn it into something. We will see, but I skipped the Andrade match against Escobar.
Yeah, well, Escobar may have spoke perfect English, but it wasn't a perfect promo because he brought the energy way down. And LA Knight fired it back up and said, well, you need to qualify and you're not good enough to beat me. And then LA Knight just left and Escobar wrestled Andrade for about 17 fucking minutes until Escobar won with a schoolboy and pulled the trunks. And then, the aforementioned Kevin Sullivan video that we discussed earlier, which was very well done and nice. But then we got Ciampa and Gargano against Pissy and Dookie. So they're actually letting them wrestle on television now, too. And so I skipped that. And then we get to the main event, which, as always, is not a wrestling match, but an interview. The Tongas were in the back telling Solo, we can't find Roman Reigns. He's not here. And Solo says, oh, he'll be here. And then they go to the ring, and we go to the break. And when we come back in the ring, son of a bitch, wouldn't you know, they couldn't find Roman Reigns in that building, but as soon as the bloodline gets in the ring, the music guy's got his cue, the lighting guy's got his cue, everybody's all set. And basically Solo says, Roman, I'm the tribal chief now. If you call yourself tribal chief, and you want the lay, what do they call it? The umlau? Or the umagumma?
The red lay.
The red lay. That actually used to be a transmitted disease, but they came up with a vaccination. Stop. The red lay is, oh boy, I tell you what, it itched too. But if you want this, come and get it. And music, and here comes Roman.
Did you see the way Tonga Loa was holding the belt?
Yeah, it was awkward and potentially upside down.
Every segment with him, there's something that goes awry. I've never seen anyone hold the belt like this. Everyone usually, when you hold the belt over your head, you know, the center plate is usually over your head. And you have a little bit of the strap in each hand. He had like right next to the center plate in one hand and the strap in the other. So it was a way that no one has ever held.
Yes, it was like, here's half of this belt, and now I'll turn it around and show you the other half. Well, he's inexperienced yet.
He's my favorite member of the bloodline.
You got to see him try to walk and chew gum at the same time. Fuck. Anyway, well, the people went crazy over Roman, and one finger is up everywhere, and the Tongas bail out on the floor to meet him, and he levels them and hits them with the stairs, and didn't look like he was necessarily taking every precaution for their safety with those fucking stairs. And then Roman and Solo stare at each other. He gets in the ring. They have the face-off, and then they have the fight. And he Superman punches Solo, and he goes for the spear, but old Tonga Loa pulls Solo out. And then Roman sees the lay and picks it up, and all the day you'll have good luck. Think about this. And somebody was talking about this on Twitter the other day. The WWE has gotten a fake Hawaiian airport souvenir and a homemade bracelet of CM Punk's more over than any championship belt in AEW. Because they've put importance in these things. And then when they come into play, people are like, ooh, instead of, oh, there's 14 of those, why do we care? So Roman picks the red lay up and starts to put it on. And there's Tama Tonga from behind, and they get on Roman. And Solo grabs the lay and leaves. And then Roman makes the comeback and spears Tonga Loa and spears Tama Tonga through the barricade, and then hammers Tonga Loa about 7 times with the chair, and then took a break, and it hit him about 5 more. While Solo was trash talking him from the entranceway, and I bet Tonga Loa's probably like, motherfucker, why do I have to be the fucking flunky? But I mean, now Roman Reigns is a mega baby face. Roman short term will be hotter than Cody. And you've still got LA Knight and Randy Orton and fucking this guy and that guy and the other fucking guy.
And Jacob Fatu not being there means he didn't have to take a bump for Roman.
Yeah, you couldn't have done this with Jacob Fatu in the building and kept Jacob Fatu's aura that they've spent the past month building up. He would have had to have done something. And then the first time that Roman Reigns physically interacts with Jacob Fatu really needs to be Jacob Fatu coming out on the head of it, on the top of it, because they know that Roman's over. But if the first time that Roman and Fatu were to lock up, that Roman beat him up too, then he's just another one of the flunkies and the bloom is off the rose. But it would not hurt Roman in the least for Jacob Fatu, who has already no-sold Randy Orton shit and done other stuff, to get one over on him, especially in a numbers situation in a heelish way. But Roman couldn't be taking a lot of bumps on his goddamn, big comeback to network television. Yeah.
And it was their biggest ratings, I think, in a while, too. I'll pull them up if
I have not seen those. If you would pull those up from wherever you got them, down low, you going to pull them up?
Oh, I saw it somewhere, and I don't see it here now. But from what I understand, SmackDown had their best ratings in a while.
Oh, so you're just repeating rumors now, just hearsay.
That's right.
Stephen P. New would object to something like that in a court of law if you tried to get away with it.
He's on my side.
Well, that's why you're not trying to get away with it there.
Or here. Where are we?
I don't know. Where are we?
See, that was the wrong note. There's an echo. There's this weird echo.
Well, that was the end of SmackDown. Not for good. They're going to come back and do another one next week, but just that particular program. Do you have any closing thoughts on SmackDown? Or potentially, if you don't, are there any persons or persons unknown on the Arcadian Vanguard Network this week that are going to be talking about smacking down?
Oh, well, in that case, fuck SmackDown. The Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network. Get information about all the shows on Twitter at Superpodcast or on Arcadia Vanguard, or on Facebook at facebook.com/Arcadian Vanguard. A few notes, of course. The wrestling news each and every day, wherever you find your favorite podcast, or download it directly from thewrestlingnews.com, your free daily wrestling newscast, when other websites are raising their prices for you to get access to news that will be publicly available in seconds. We give it to you for free in seconds, or minutes it may be. Thewrestlingnews.com. Once again, wherever you find your favorite podcast. Want to make mention of the latest episode, or two actually, of Shut Up and Wrestle with Brian Solomon. Some interesting episodes. Mike Clark, formerly of the Jack Tunney Toronto office, returns to the show. Also, recent episode with Sam Adonis. Hear what it's like being a top heel in Mexico, but appreciating the past. SUAWpod.com. Available wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And of course, the 605 Super Podcast, the Mothership! Oh, you see that? You're failing us left and right. But we never fail you. Go through the archive, 605pod.com. You've gone silent. Are you embarrassed? What's going on over there?
I don't know who you're talking to. You're
talking
saying
to you.
You failed us. How did I fail you?
We only got half the sound that you played. Let me hear it.
Hold on.
Yeah, what is that?
That's it.
That wasn't it. Hold on. I have the same. That's it. Let me hear yours.
It's the same goddamn thing.
I'm not hearing it at all. Hit it again into the microphone. Yours seems a bit abrupt, but...
Oh, for God's sake. How about this?
I don't even hear that. Can you hear that?
How are you not hearing that?
I'm not hearing that.
It's right up here in the goddamn microphone. Here, how can you hear that now?
I hear you. I have no idea.
What the hell is the matter with now? You made me think. What is the microphone's broken or something?
Maybe so, but I definitely didn't hear your spring. But I could hear my full spring right here.
Here is my spring.
Yeah,
there
stopped.
It is.
It cut off.
Yours does too.
605pod.com. The mothership.
Yeah, mother is right.
Well, that goes a long time, that one.
Thank you, Doctor. Yeah, she did go on quite a long time. Should have seen the marks she left. Anyway,